Virtuous Devotional Thoughts for Women, written by Monica Diaz, read by Belinda Sainsbury.
Good morning, dear friends. Today, December 30th, our devotional is entitled New Year's Resolutions. Every man should be born again on the first day of January. Henry Ward Beecher. It's time to make New Year's resolutions once again. And I would like to help you be more realistic this time. Because, let's be honest, how many of the resolutions you made last year did you accomplish this year? Perhaps today's devotional reading will help you understand more clearly why you did not accomplish them and be more practical in the future. Roy Baumeister conducted a study on two groups of people who were randomly chosen. Each participant was to enter a room and wait until they were called. In the first group's room, there were fresh baked cookies, but they were all instructed not to touch them. In the second group's room, there were beets, which they were not to eat either. After waiting, they each stepped into a room where they were to take a written exam, which was not hard in terms of how difficult the questions were, but it had long, in-depth questions. The goal was to see which group had more self-discipline and perseverance on the test. That is, which group would answer the greatest number of questions before giving up, because they all gave up without finishing the exam. The result was overwhelming in favor of the second group, the ones with the beets. Why? Because those in the first group had exercised so much self-discipline as they waited so as not to eat the cookies that they reached the exam with very little remaining discipline and perseverance. In turn, the others had not been worn out that way. Knowing that our perseverance and self-discipline have a limit, we should not use them on just anything, because we would end up using our willpower on matters that might be superficial, when it would be best to employ it on more essential matters. Our resolutions should not be based on doing or not doing things, the superficial, but on daily seeking the source of power, the essential, that will enable us to do difficult things with the conviction that it is for our salvation and the certainty that He supplies what we lack. When joined to that source of power, all else is automatic. It turns into daily rituals filled with meaning, driven by deep values. Of all songs of all bells, most solemn and touching is the peal which rings out the old year. That's because when we become aware of the passing of time, it reminds us of how our need to be more closely joined to God. For God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power and love and discipline. 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 7.